I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, bright and early on a Saturday morning. Good morning, everybody. It is game day, and it is the Jaguar Journal. Glad to have you guys with us. I am Perry White, and as we get started for today's show, you are at the right place at the right time because today, Southern University versus North Carolina Central. It is week 0. It is time for some football, ladies and gentlemen. When I say time for some football, I'm talking about some college football. We have been waiting since last year's SWAC championship to get things rocking and rolling, and guess what? Here we are. And it is finally upon us. We have done all of the talking that we can do to get you informed in terms of all the teams. And now today's show is going to be based around solely game day. And I'm glad that you guys are joining us. Good morning to everybody listening on 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. And everybody listening and watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and to follow us across all social media sites, including X, Instagram, Facebook. We're also on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And be sure to keep up with our TikTok channel as well. We are happy to have you guys with us. Listen, action-packed show for you guys today. And we're going to be breaking down, talking about North Carolina Central University. And we're going to be talking about Southern University. So there's going to be a multitude of guests for today's show to get you ready for today's game, which is going to be live on ABC a little bit later today. And I want you guys to be totally informed as you get ready for this week 0 matchup for Southern in Atlanta. Well, we say start in the A, end in the A. Here we are, finally getting the opportunity for a trip to Atlanta, and let's see how we do. And that's all I want to make sure. So I hope you guys are having a great morning. I hope you guys are ready to get it going. Jaguar Nation, where you at this morning? This is the official game day show right here for Southern University, but we're also going to give you the information that you need for North Carolina Central, because as we talk about the MEAC SWAC Challenge, Southern University is undefeated in this matchup, right? We have beaten Florida A&M in Birmingham. We beat Delaware State in Orlando, and we beat South Carolina State in Baton Rouge. And here we are taking on North Carolina Central in Atlanta. Formidable opponents when you look at Southern in this ball game throughout its time and participating. The only SWAC school to be undefeated in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. So Southern is going to look to keep that streak going today against a North Carolina Central team that is really good. And the interesting fact about both of these teams as we look at today's matchup, both these teams were one game away from both participating in a Black College National Championship, which we called the Celebration Bowl last year. North Carolina Central lost a midweek game 24-21 to South Carolina State, which ultimately kept them out from winning the MEAC, and South Carolina State went on to represent the MEAC as the champion in the Celebration Bowl. On the other end, for Southern University, the Jaguars won the Western Division and went on the road to take on Jackson State up in Jackson, Mississippi, a game in which it seemed like it was Southern's for about a quarter and a half until Zy McDonald comes in as the backup quarterback for Jackson State. He takes over the ball game with his legs right before half to get Jackson State on the board, to get them up, and Jackson State never looked back in that ball game. So when you look at today's matchup, this is two teams who potentially could have played each other in last year's Celebration Bowl. So that's what makes this year's matchup, when you look at the participants in Southern and North Carolina Central, very interesting. Both these teams have an opportunity to have a strong start of the season, the 2025 season. And let me make this clear. Let me make this clear when you look at these teams. No matter the outcome, it's August. It is August. We're talking about trying to make it all the way to November. So there's plenty of football. As the old folks says, plenty of meat left on the bone. We got a long, what you laughing at, Mike? There's plenty of meat left on the bone. We got a long way to go. This thing is just getting started. But what we want to see is a better start from Southern University. Let me take you guys back into the time capsule. And we go back into last year's Week 1 ball game with Southern versus McNeese State. Southern on the road, taking on McNeese State, the Cowboys, a team out of the Southland, a team Southern has never beaten. Southern, although they struggled offensively in that ball game, seemed like if they held on, Southern's defense was doing everything it could to hold on to win that game. Here comes the fourth quarter. And this is where the game fell apart. And this is going to be the topic of today's show for me. Here's a field goal to put 10 on the board. The wackiest field goal kick I've ever seen in my life. Goes directly off the back of the snapper and goes directly down the field the opposite way. 40, 50 yards, I don't know what that damn ball was doing, but it did it. And it went the other way, and it set McNeese up to score. Punt. Snap goes over the punter's head, set McNeese up to score. Special team miscues ultimately cost Southern that ball game. That's what Southern's going to have to avoid today in game 1. I get it. Hey, it was the staff in terms of Terrence Gray's first game as a head coach. But they made the calls. It was the players who didn't execute it. And I think today on national television, you guys know how I feel about this, especially non-conference games. I'll talk about how important it is for the brand and to market the brand to win those out-of-conference games. This game is bigger than the game at McNeese. And you heard me harp and yell about that last year. But when you look at this, this is a must-win for Southern. It is a game that is long overdue that Southern can get a victory over a quality opponent. Not only that, here's an opportunity with the bright lights and the entire nation watching. And you guys know what I mean by that. ABC national television audience, all eyes on week 0 tonight are going to be on this ball game between Southern University and North Carolina Central. For the brand, Southern University, as the whole, just saying Southern University, this is a must-win for our brand to get that extra energy that we need to push into this season. No other game that we're going to see as of right now, as we inch closer and closer through the end of August into September as the season goes on, is going to equate to what we're going to have with the eyes that are going to be watching tonight in week 0. People who don't even know about Southern and North Carolina Central are going to find out tonight when they watch this game. And for Southern, it is imperative for Southern Jaguars to go out and play some damn good football and come out on the other side with a victory for the brand, for the marketing, for the team, for everything that incorporates the gold and blue. All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We have reached that point. When I come back on the other side, we're going to have my man Joshua Sims Jr., Sr. He is a graduate of North Carolina Central and also the man that started HBCU Nightly. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8, the deep ball, and that's our man Chris Davis for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody that is tuned in. 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching and tuned in across the nation on our YouTube and Facebook channel. Glad to have you guys with us. It is game day. Southern versus North Carolina Central. It is the MEAC SWAC Challenge. And guess what? Today is your one-stop shop to get all the information that you need for today's big matchup. It is week 0, and all eyes are going to be in Atlanta, Georgia today as Southern takes on North Carolina Central. Hey, and nobody better to talk North Carolina Central with than my man Joshua Sims Sr. Good morning, Josh.
P, man, good morning to you, brother. Glad to be on here with you as well, man. It's always a pleasure to be on here to be able to talk ball, and it's absolutely a pleasure to get on here to talk ball, talk about North Carolina Central Eagles today, especially on game day, man. We finally got a game day, baby.
Hey, listen, week 0, all eyes, ABC. It is going to be the premier game tonight for everybody to watch, man. And for you, being a North Carolina Central grad, you know this program. You are one of the few from that program in terms of the school that actually covers the sports of not only the MEAC, but Black College. And for everybody out there, he's the co-founder of HBCU Nightly on YouTube, on Twitter, or formerly Twitter, X. Be sure to keep up and watch their show. Man, they do tremendous work. But for you, Josh, all right, let's talk about North Carolina Central. How you feeling about today's game, first of all?
Man, I feel excellent, man. I feel phenomenal. First off, feel great that we finally got ball back, man. Football it felt like it's been a long summer, and to have football back is amazing. But as it pertains to North Carolina Central in particular, man, I am ecstatic today to get a chance to see the Maroon and Gray get back out and play some ball today, and really roll this football out, man. A really experienced football team looking to get the 2025 season kicked off, and tonight is our opportunity to really showcase that on the national stage.
Let's do this because, we were talking a little trash earlier this week, and the way I hear you laughing, the way that things went. You talked about how much you feel because of North Carolina Central. They have been kicking butt against the SWAC. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, this program, we've hung our hats on what we've been able to do in our out of conference schedule, man. Couldn't be prouder than these guys on how they represent themselves when we go outside of the confines of the Mideastern area of the United States. Once they get out to, the southwestern part of the country or the southeastern part of the country, or even sometimes in the northeast, man, when we have to go take on that KFC conference, man, the North Carolina Central Eagles always show up and show out. Our out-of-conference record under head coach Trey Oliver has been ecstatic. And honestly, man, I expect that we continue to keep that ball rolling, but we're going to have to play some sound football, man. I don't expect Southern to come in and lay down. I don't expect Southern to come in and not play a really, really consummate football game. And they got a grown man over there on that defense. But I expect that this North Carolina Central offense and this defense was bringing back a ton of guys. I expect us to be able to take care of business tonight and honestly, man, get this season started the right way.
What is the feel around for the Eagles fans over in North Carolina as it pertains to the 2025 season? What's the vibe like? You normally can tell, hey, is this our championship season? We fell short a game last year. What's the vibe and the conversation like amongst the fans?
Well, honestly, Pete, we've fallen short the last 4 seasons, man. We've lost one game in conference every season the last 4 seasons. Even the year we won the HBCU National Championship in the Celebration Bowl, we lost to South Carolina State that year, man. And so this is the year, the vibe around, 1801 Fayetteville Street is that this is the year we run the table. This is the year that we don't fall short, man. We don't lose one. We don't come up short. We don't have a 3-point loss to who has essentially become our conference foe in South Carolina State. We don't have any slip-ups. We won't fall short, man. And that's what the expectations are. That's what the vibe is. And ultimately it boils down to what our head coach calls culture over scheme, man. The culture at 1801 Fayetteville Street is we have an expectation to win. This is the standard, and we expect to be able to do so now, tonight, as well as going on throughout the season.
You look back at last season and you come into this season. For you, what do you want to see for this team better this year than what you've seen in the past?
Honestly, man, I like what we've looked like the last few years. The only thing that I'm looking for us not to do is to have that slip up. We have been good to have one slip up, and every team, perfection is very, very difficult. P, you know that. I know that. Been around this game a long time. I played this game, played at North Carolina Central. Perfection is incredibly difficult to do and to accomplish. So what I'm looking forward to us to doing is learning from our mistakes the last few years, learning from where we've come short, and finding a way to be able to be as close as possible to perfect. And if we do that, my expectation is that we'll find ourselves back in Atlanta. We're going to start tonight in Atlanta, but my expectation is that we'll find ourselves back in Atlanta in December, getting ready to hoist up a national championship trophy.
Enough of all that talk now. Hold on. Slow down now, Josh. Come on, man. Now, look, we feel the same way on our end. You're talking about both teams who were one game away from potentially playing each other in last year's national championship game. But I got to ask you, most importantly, this is a non-conference game. And for you, seeing North Carolina Central, and you talked about it earlier this week with me, North Carolina Central going out and playing in non-conference games and the success that you guys have been having.
Yeah, man, honestly, that's how we've been able to create somewhat of a national brand when it comes to this game, man, when it comes to the game of football. For us, we have the statement and the thought process that, you put us under the lights, you put us during the sunlight, you turn that football game on, you got all of them zeros that by the time we get to the end of the game with all of those zeros, if we playing out of conference, we're more than likely going to find a way to get a W, man. We recognize that we have to put this brand on the map. North Carolina Central has only been back in the Division I ranks for about 15 years, man. So we know that we've got to make a statement. But that's what we look to do when we get into that non-conference schedule, man. Is to be able to make a statement. This season, the same, man. Last year we're a quarter away, and we Walker Harris playing in the second half away from knocking off an ACC foe in the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This year we got Old Dominion and FBS foe. We're looking to be able to get that taken care of. A couple years ago, I kind of came on the national stage and I talked about our chances of being able to beat, at that time the Pac-12 foe in UCLA, and we definitely fell short of that. But I feel much more comfortable with an ODU this year. Of course, we got New Hampshire from the CAA again this year, where we expect to go 2-0 against. We beat them a couple years ago up in their place in Durham, New Hampshire. They got to come down to Durham, North Carolina, and take care of business. And, of course, when we got to take care of business against that school down the highway, we going to always take care of business. We going to break that belt out for them, for sure.
I love that type of talk, man, because we don't get to really see how the MEAC gets down a lot here in SWAC country. It's a little bit different in SWAC country than it is over in MEAC country. But when you look at this program, you rubbed it in my face earlier, right? You talked about how the last time these two teams met, you guys were Division II, and you came to Baton Rouge and you beat Southern University. Is that right?
That is correct, and we wasn't just any Division II program.
Oh.
We knew that we were on our way to Division I. We knew we were getting ready to start the transition process, and we were the Division II national champions that year. And it wasn't only y'all that we beat that year as far as on the Division I ranks. We beat the school down the highway, as we did a lot of times as a Division II program. So it wasn't just y'all, but in the grace and in the space of us being able to have just a cordial back and forth about what this game is going to look like tonight, I had to bring it up, P. I had to say, 06, we had to take care of business. But we in Atlanta tonight, dog. We in A-Town tonight. We're gonna have to make sure that this game lives up to the hype, man. Because you made a great point earlier that both of these teams last season one win away from making it to the HBCU national championship. So I expect fireworks tonight, man. It's gonna be a ball game.
Let me ask you this: what do MEAC fans, in particular at North Carolina Central, just as a whole, looking at the brands, the MEAC and the SWAC, got about 2 minutes. What do you think? What is that outlook in terms of what they look in when they see the SWAC?
Honestly, man, we see it as a foe, man. In the MEAC is not. It doesn't have the conference pride that the SWAC has. Historically, we have some story been here in the conference, but most of those story programs, they're no longer in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And so the conference pride is not necessarily there. You still have the South Carolina States of the world. You still got the North Carolina Central. But historically, a lot of the programs that was here that brought that conference pride, they're gone. So there was a need and a desire for a new program to arise in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference to really take this conference and let this conference kind of live on the national stage. And North Carolina Central has decided we're going to pick up that hat, along with the South Carolina States of the world, who, they lead the conference historically in conference championships. They continue to keep rolling, and clearly everybody saw that last season with them winning the MEAC championship outright.
I remember coming to that Celebration Bowl. It was North Carolina Central versus Grambling. And it made all the headlines of a team losing by celebration in the game for which it holds the name Celebration Bowl.
Break my heart today, man. Nephew, know, man, I got a lot of love for young brother. Nephew, know, man, from Coach Oliver is going to be on here with you at some point. And we call it, for me, anything about 10 years for me, we call you a big brother or an OG. If you played at North Carolina Central in the maroon and gray, anything 10 years or younger, 5 to 10 years or younger, they're a young brother or their nephew. And so, young brother he didn't understand the moment, man. He was supposed to act like he had been there before, and it's okay. But Devontae Kincaid and that crew, that was a real good football squad, man. We looking for an opportunity to get back and play Grambling if they'll pick up the phone for us.
For everybody out there that want to keep up with you, man, give them the information and when your show is, and for them to be able to tune in and watch you guys.
Man, my absolute pleasure, man. Well, first, before I even get into that, P, I appreciate you, man, especially on this game day, kicking off the season with me on your show, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to Jaguar Nation, man. This is one of the best and longest-lasting shows that have existed inside of our platform, inside the HBCU sports and entertainment world. So it's an honor for me to be on here. You can catch us, man, at the HBCU Nightly Network. We are on 4 or 5 times a week with multiple shows. But HBCU Nightly Live, which is our perennial show, comes on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. You can check out myself and our entire crew just up there having fun, man. A lot of great friends, few guys that played the game on the highest level, a couple guys that played this game at the HBCU level, of course, just getting a chance to talk ball, man. It's a fun time. So if you can tune in, we appreciate you, man. Thank you in advance.
Man, I'm hoping, look, if we can get it done on Monday, baby, if we can get it done on Monday, I hope to definitely have a conversation with you.
Hey, listen, man, you let me know. You know I'm always available, big dog. I'm always available. Hey, man, and the only thing that comes with it, though, P, is win, lose, or draw, man. If we lose, I'm going to eat my crow. I said that a few years ago when I came into this game, when I came into this industry. If we lose, I eat my crow. I don't hide behind, man. I always show up for work. But if we win, I'm also going to expect for others to eat their crow as well. And that's the only thing I ask, man, is that we have fun with this thing, man. I don't have no eligibility left. And even if I did, I ain't getting out there with these youngsters, man. They're a different breed. So I just get the chance to kind of sit back, watch the game, have conversations with brothers like yourself, and enjoy the game of football, man.
Man, appreciate you coming on today, Josh, man. Thank you for everything, man.
Absolutely, man. Go Eagles.
All right, for everybody that listen, that's the voice of Joshua Sims Sr. Let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll continue the conversation more at the Jaguar Journal, all right? It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning, everybody. Listen on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there listening and watching on our Facebook and YouTube on the Jaguar Journal. Be sure to follow the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We're also on X. We're on Instagram and on Facebook. Guess what? We don't need your social security number. We don't need to know how many people live in your household. It is free. We just need your love and support as we continue to grow this brand. And as we continue today's show, I want to thank Joshua Sims Sr. for coming on and talking to us in terms of the fan perspective of covering North Carolina Central. But now we got to talk to the head guy that's in charge over at North Carolina Central. We know him oh so well here at Southern University. He was our defensive coordinator, and he was the guy that I liked a lot. He gave me a shirt one time. He said, Perry, look, we ain't got much to give, but I got something for you. He gave me a Southern football shirt, but nonetheless, aside from that, an all-around great guy, man, and I'm glad to have him here on the show, and he is the head football coach over at North Carolina Central. Want to welcome to the show this morning my man, Coach Trey Oliver. Good morning, Coach Oliver.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing, man?
Man, doing good, man. It is game day, week 0, baby. It is here.
It's here, man. It's been a long wait, but we excited. We're excited, ready to keep this thing on.
Let me tell everybody, look, when we talked, he said, look, man, I already know what this is about. What you want, some bulletin board material? I said, no, Coach, I come in peace. I don't want no problems with y'all. I'm going to leave that to Coach Terrence Graves and everybody else today. And, Coach, man, let me ask you this. Your team coming out of last season, and this has been the storyline around this game. Of course, you formerly right here in Baton Rouge. And before I get into it, I know you know about – I hear you talk about it all the time, that Blue Stow and that Tony's, right?
Yeah, I know y'all going to bring me some when y'all come to the stadium tonight.
You want some Blue Stow? We make sure we're going to send you some over to North Carolina, man. I'll get you some over there next week. How about that?
Yeah, please do, man. Please do.
Looking at this, the storyline, of course, both of you coaches, you and Terrence Graves, know each other very well. You know Baton Rouge very well, being here on the bluff for the Jaguars. But most importantly, these are two programs, your program in Southern today, one game away from potentially playing for a national championship in last year's Celebration Bowl. You guys fell short 24-21 to South Carolina State, to Chennis Berry, who was also the offensive coordinator here at Southern while you were here during your time. And Southern fell short in the SWAC championship game against Jackson State. Man, looking at your program coming out of last year and coming into the spring, what did you circle on the board in terms of what you want to see improve from your team from last year coming into this season?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you bringing up that South Carolina State loss that kept us out. I've been trying to get over that one. But, man, the big thing, honestly, is I thought we had a really good football team the last 2 years. And I thought we had a really good season. But we got to be able to finish. We got to be able to finish. And I think the big thing with that is you got to work to get better every week, And championship teams do that. And, I thought we had a good football team and played some really good ball. But when you get off the bus that first half against South Carolina State, we dug ourselves a hole and fought to get back in it and ran out of time.
Looking at your program, and let's start on the offensive side of the ball in terms of in the trenches with your O-line. Give us some names of some guys today that we're going to see on the national stage on ABC that can potentially become household names in the trenches offensively for you.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, it's going to be a great matchup with Given and Trey Humphrey and Sprinkle, my two tackles. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be a good matchup, man. But we got Noah McKenzie at center, Brian Hardy at guard, and A.C. McMorris at the other guard spot. And all 5 of those guys played, started for us last year and played meaningful reps, obviously. And that's where the game is. I think the difference of the game is going to be tonight is going to be in the trenches.
You talk about the trenches, and then last year you guys lose a hell of a running back in Jamari Taylor. Having to replace him, he's since left the program, but under center, you're going to have a hell of a quarterback that you return, and you have one of the few quarterbacks around in the black college football space that is a returning starter in Walker Harris, man. That backfield for you talking about for North Carolina Central.
Yeah, man, and Walker, really good football player, and I think that one thing last year, I thought he put a little too much pressure on himself in certain situations. He thought he had to be perfect and just put a little too much pressure on himself. So, my message to him is just play. Have fun, go out there and play, man. And, at running back, we got Christian Mosley, who I didn't think got enough playing time probably last year, as much playing time as he should have last year. He's probably the fastest kid on our team, and he can flat out fly. But I'm pleased with my backfield. We got A.J. Rogers at running back as well. And I got 2 young quarterbacks that are going to have a bright future.
Let's look on the defensive side of the ball and start back in the trenches. You talk about that defense, and this is where this game is going to really, for me, my eyes are going to be in the trench play, how this looks. And your team, in terms of the trenches, talk about your defensive side, starting with that D-line and the edge rushers.
Well, we can go with Thomas Johnson and didn't get any preseason accolades because he got hurt last year and only played in 4 games. But it's like looking in the mirror at the Givens kids. They got the same skill set. Both of them are great pass rushers and can bend and turn that corner. And on the other end, we got Makai McCall. And then on the interior, we have Wisdom, Sim, and Christian Smith. And those are 2 stout guys, played a lot of meaningful reps as well. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the matchup. And Thomas Johnson's going to get busy tonight.
We move to the linebackers in the defensive backfield. Listen, your defense was the top in the conference last year, along with your offense. You have had a dominant team, but looking at your defensive backfield as well as your linebacker core, man, they have been the toast of the conference.
Well, yeah, we played some pretty good defense, but I thought it was some areas that we needed to improve on. Obviously, one of the areas was our red zone defense and consistency overall. Like, I didn't think we played well at all against South Carolina State. So you have to have a level of consistency if you're a championship, if you want to be a championship team. But in the back end, we do have Malcolm Reed, our safety, that's returning. He's, I think, preseason All-American and great young man, great player, great length, and very smart kid. Also back there we have Jelani Bassel, Tamadre Braxton, and Wade at the other corner. So we got some talent, man. It's just about minimizing mistakes, and we have to tackle well. That's obviously the thing going into that first game is tackle.
You have won a Black College National Championship. You were you did what the SWAC teams couldn't do against Coach Prime. You was able to beat them in the Celebration Bowl, and I want to ask you about that. When you look at the MEAC and the SWAC, and you have had time in both of them, and then as well as, you've been all over the place in your coaching experience. What do you think is the biggest difference coming into this game, looking at the style of play in the MEAC and the style of the play in the SWAC and bringing them together?
Well, it's changed so much because you have so many new coaches now. We got a couple new coaches in our conference, so they haven't really been able to put the stamp on the program. And, same thing in the SWAC, So, before it used to be that the SWAC had the skill guys and we had the big. But I think it's kind of changed now, like I said, with all the turnover coaching. But I think the difference in this game and those big games is going to be, I talk about having a thermostat mentality. And, you can't get too high, can't get too low. And you got to control your emotions. So, and we've been able to do that. In the Celebration Bowl, the game wasn't too big. Even when Travis Hunter caught that pass to tie it up instead in overtime, my guys didn't panic. We just got to play the next play. And, we were fortunate to come up with a dub.
I like the energy that you give because you don't back down from any opponent. You go into every game. And that's what makes me nervous about today's game because Trey Oliver is the man. You are respectful, but you demand respect. And I know with discipline, you're going to have a team that's in there ready to punch somebody in the mouth. When I say punch in the mouth, I mean in terms of the game of football, ready to play and go out and get a victory because you have built a championship caliber program over there in North Carolina Central. When you look at non-conference games and you take them very serious there, and that's something I have harped about here at Southern about having to get that non-conference game with all eyes watching tonight on ABC. How big will it be for your brand, for the nation to see, and as well as potential athletes out there to see what you have built at North Carolina Central?
Well, first and foremost, it's great for I think both schools because for us to play on ABC tonight and on national stage, it's great for both universities to show, our brand of football. But, obviously at North Carolina Central, we do things a little different, like you said, and we love to play those out-of-conference games, and especially against those PWIs because, obviously a lot of times they don't think you can play with. So whenever we have an opportunity to play a PWI, we like to put hands. But tonight, tonight is a big game, man, and obviously playing the number 1 ranked team on the West, we're going to have our hands full. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. But like I said, I think we had a great camp, and our guys are focused and ready to roll.
Before I get ready to let you go, Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're going to have a busy day as we get ready for the game tonight. Real quick, talk about your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator because these are the guys to help you keep this thing rolling over there as you build that culture of championships.
Well, yeah, first of all, my right-hand man, associate head coach Matt Leone, and you're familiar with him, and I'm sure Jag Nation is too. He was the quarterback coach down there under Dawson Hope, and he's done a phenomenal job with obviously getting the quarterbacks coached up, and being able to implement an offense that our guys can be effective at. And then defensively, I promoted. I lost a bunch of coaches. I lost 4 coaches this year, but I'm my defensive coordinator. But I promoted Jesse Thompson up to defensive coordinator, and we see eye to eye and have the same philosophy with a lot of things. And I'm gonna let him work. I'm gonna let him call it tonight, and I'm here just to support him. If he needs some help, I got some suggestions, and I always got 1 or 2 calls in my back pocket now.
Keep them in your back pocket, Coach. We don't want to see him tonight. But I appreciate you for coming on, man. Look, I don't want to hold you too long. I know you got a busy day ahead of you, getting your team prepared. And I want to thank you for coming on, man. There's a lot you could be doing, but you took the time, and I truly, truly appreciate it. I got a lot of respect for you, man, really from afar. I enjoyed being able to have conversations and talking to you when you were here on the Bluff. I remember working with you when I did a piece on Danny Johnson, man, and you were able to speak about how high of a caliber of player he was, and then just being able to hear your football IQ, man. I got much respect for you, Coach, man, and good luck to you guys tonight, and not only tonight, for the rest of the season, man. On the way from this game aside, I'm going to be cheering for you guys as the season goes on, just because of the man that you are and the man that I have tend to have fallen into like because of who you were here at Southern University, man.
Man, I really appreciate it. I got one question before I go, man.
What you got?
Did y'all get a new running back coach?
Did we get a new running back coach?
I saw on video. I saw All Day Portier coach up the running backs over the bags.
He still feel he can hit the hole at any given time and hit and take off.
All Day Portier was up there coaching them up, man. So I was just wondering if y'all got a new coach on staff, man.
Hey, you'll see him tonight. So, Coach, thank you for coming on, man, and I appreciate you, man. As always, much love to you, man. Much respect, and good luck to you guys for the rest of the season, Coach, man. Thank you, seriously.
Likewise, man. You do a great job, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate you. All right, everybody. That's the voice of Coach Trey Oliver, the head coach at North Carolina Central, taking on Southern University tonight, man. Want to thank him for coming on. Let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody out there. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys on board with us. It is Southern University versus North Carolina Central. Today is your one-stop shop to get all the information that you need as we move into this game tonight on ABC. Good morning to everybody on Talk 107.3 out there listening across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching. Good morning from all across the land this morning on our YouTube and our Facebook page, on our live. Glad to have you guys. Be sure to follow, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. The Jaguar Journal is across all social media. We're on X, formerly Twitter. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on TikTok. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything that you can find to reach out to, we are there. You know, I felt a little type of way this week, and I'll get into that. Lights On Sports put out, here's all of the podcasts, radio, and whatever else to be able to get your HBCU sports. You know who they left off? They left us off, the Jaguar Journal. But it's okay. That means we just got to work harder. That's what that means, Mike. So we got to work harder because they clearly overlooking us. We're not doing enough, so we got to do even more to be able to catch the attention, because they was putting folks stuff on there. I'm like, I didn't even know that existed. But that's probably the same way they feel about us. That's why we need your support. And that's why I continue to ask you guys, as we grow, you help us grow into other homes. You help us grow into phones, iPads, laptops, whatever the case people may watch or listen to this on. You help us grow, and that's why we want to continue to grow, and we need you to help us as we continue to grow, because clearly we be getting overlooked. And as we grow into a bigger space, we want to make sure everybody understands that, hey, you can click on the Jaguar Journal and get the information that you want for Southern University as well as the SWAC and the MEAC. And we want to thank my man, Coach Trey Oliver. Listen, who's bringing it to you like this on game day, right? Who is bringing it to you on game day like this of the biggest game in week 0 and giving you the head coach of the opponent today in North Carolina Central? Because what I want y'all to do before we get to the other side of the hour, I want you to go into this game and say, look, we got information. We know what we're going up against. At least we got a better idea, because we don't get a chance to really talk MEAC a lot here. But because bringing him on, as well as my man Josh Sims Sr., we got an opportunity to hear from the North Carolina Central side of things. And I wanted you to hear not only from the coverage side, but as well as the coaching side and what it is in terms of the fan side and North Carolina Central, period. Because a lot of us, I don't think, 06 was a long time ago. We're talking about almost 20 years ago since the last time these two teams have met, Southern and North Carolina Central. But for today's show, I wanted to make sure that I informed you and educated you in terms of who the opponent is today, because I don't want any surprises from out of you. As Coach Oliver, he went through his trench play, his skill position play, and I think the biggest thing of why North Carolina Central fans feel confident, I think for any team, when you come into a season that you know who your quarterback is, and for North Carolina Central, they know who their quarterback is going to be tonight. Walker Harris, no doubt about it, as the returning starter for North Carolina Central, passed for over 1,800 yards last year. Now, they lost at essential pieces he talked about in Jamari Taylor from the running back position, who ultimately moved up to the FBS. But nonetheless, I think when you look at this, they rank first in almost every category in the MEAC. Offensively, they ranked first in almost every category in defense in the MEAC. They were first in scoring defense. They were first in total defense. They was first in pass defense, but they were third in rush defense. And I think on the other side for Southern, that's what Southern's going to want to try to have their bread and butter. But we're going to talk more about Southern on the other end of the hour. I just wanted to make sure that you guys got the information that you needed for North Carolina Central as we get ready to head to talk into the Southern talk of today's big matchup between Southern and North Carolina Central. My man John Grant talked to us all summer long, telling us about the events that are going to be taking place this morning. I hope you guys are up and ready. Are you hosting your watch parties tonight? Where are you hosting them at? I know all across the country for the Jaguar fans who did not get a chance to make it to Atlanta, you're going to be hosting your watch parties, and wherever you are, make sure you call a friend, call a cousin, call a family member, call a coworker, anybody. Get them in there, because what we want to do is get all eyes on the Jaguars tonight against the Eagles of North Carolina Central and see what is going to happen. Is that the question of the day? Let me write this question mark. This is a big question mark right there. Question. Do you think Southern is going to win this game or North Carolina Central? Let me know down in the comment section. Flood the comment section. I know we got our Jackson State haters in here as always, and they're going to be, we got to stick. It's the SWAC now, okay? It's the SWAC today. Because if it was the opposite way around in the Celebration Bowl, you'd be like, man, we got to stick together. It's all SWAC or nothing today. The MEAC leads the overall MEAC SWAC Challenge Series 11-7. Southern has added 3 of those wins in there. We're undefeated and they're going for number 4. We already got FAMU under our belt, who is now in the SWAC. We got Delaware State under our belt, as well as South Carolina State, who we defeated right here at home. Now we got to do our part to keep that streak alive and to help add one more in the win column for the SWAC. Do you believe that can happen? Let me know in the comment section. Give me a yes, give me a no, give me a Jaguars, give me an Eagle, whatever you want, whoever you think is going to win it. And as we get later in the show, I'll give you my prediction for the show along with our guests as we continue to roll on with today's Game Day show. It is Southern University versus North Carolina Central, ladies and gentlemen. Today is your one-stop shop to get all of your information for the Week 0 matchup, the big MEAC SWAC Challenge. You see it behind me. If you're listening, you can't see it, but you hear me. But for those of you that are watching, you see it behind me. It is a big game. We are here. It is Week 0. How long we got, Mike, before we got to get ready to go to break? Where we at? 30 seconds. For everybody out there, 3 minutes? Oh, we going all the way. Excuse me. For everybody out there, I hope you have your popcorn ready. I hope you have your barbecue ready. I hope you have your glasses together. Get your big screen TV ready to rock and roll, because tonight we're going to have a hell of a ball game. These are 2 teams, in all seriousness, that were 1 game away from playing for a national championship. Now, it may have happened in a different way for both of them, but nonetheless, both of these teams finished as runner-ups in their conference. And for me, that creates the excitement of today's ball game, because this is a situation where it could start in the A and end in the A for both these teams. Very much so. Now, I know a lot of people out there are believing in North Carolina Central. That's what y'all saying in the comments. You're believing in North Carolina Central. But do you have a little faith in the Jaguars? I know my Jaguar fans do. But I got to talk to the people who aren't Jaguar fans, just the innocent bystander, saying, I don't have no dog in this fight. I'm going to turn this game on. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to see how it's going to turn out. Well, I hope it turns out in the favor of the Southern Jaguars. And I hope you guys continue to stick with me, because we got to get ready to take a break and go to the top of the hour. Now, I made this about North Carolina Central in this hour because I wanted you to get an understanding from their perspective. But now we're going to turn things up, and we're going to look on the other side from the Jaguar perspective. We're going to talk some Southern football, and we're going to break it down for you to get an understanding of what's to come and what to see from the Jaguars as we look forward to today's matchup. It's football season. If this don't excite you, you just ain't a football fan. It is Week 0, a hell of a ball game of 2 storied programs. North Carolina Central won a Black College National title. They won a Celebration Bowl here recently. They beat Deion Sanders. They did something we couldn't do, and no other team in the SWAC could do during this tenure. Now it's our turn to repay the favor for the SWAC to North Carolina Central. So you guys stay tuned. Wake up. Get your day going. It's the Southern versus North Carolina Central Game Day show right here on the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White, and you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
State leading 10-3. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up. Kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up, kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown and makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Passing leaders in the conference, Lionel Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington second, but he's intercepted right there. This time the inside handoff,
and the ball was dropped, and Tommy Head.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is.
He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Be sure to continue to follow us across all of our social media. X, on Instagram, as well as Facebook. It costs nothing. Just hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. Look, we don't want your social security number. We don't want to know how many kids in your household. We don't need none of that. We just need your love and support as we continue to grow the brand. And as we grow the brand here, man, we got a very special guest here on the show this morning. He is a mentor of mine. He is a guy, since I have been in Baton Rouge, has been right there, being able to give me advice, teach me things, and I have watched him work from a professional standpoint, and he is a true professional. He is the host, the producer, director of the Jaguar Football Show. I want to welcome him to the show this morning, my man, Todd L. Sterling. Good morning, Todd.
Man, that was the best introduction I've ever had, Perry White. Thank you.
But nobody better to do it for than my man, Todd, man, because you have been a guy that I have watched since I've been here. Listen, I thought you was a mean dude at first, man, when I saw you, and I didn't know you from afar. I had to see you from afar when I was showing up to the coaches' lunches. I said, man, I bet he's a pretty mean guy. He don't look like he take no crap. But then I got a chance to get to know you, man, and get to understand. Man, Todd is one of the coolest guys, man, you could ever find in this world. But he about his business. He about his paper. And at the end of the day, he is a righteous guy, man. And Todd, man, because of that, man, I look at you, man, as my mentor and everything else, man. I appreciate everything you've done for me since I've been here in Baton Rouge. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's even let me host the Jaguar Football Show a couple times. So I appreciate you for that as well.
Well, you're welcome. You've also had a chance to work with me in some of my advertising business, shooting commercials, shooting videos, and doing some outreach in the community. So it's not just about the Jaguar football show. But look, man, thank you for, staying true to yourself, and thank you for realizing that these opportunities are far and few between. You got to make the most of them, and you seem to be making the most of it. Plus, I admire the fact you have pushed into that digital space, and that's where it's going. So, you're already there, and so you keep striving, bro.
We was talking about working on some stuff outside of this. I had people, man, that I remember one time we was shooting a commercial, and I was in a car. I think I was letting the top back, and I didn't realize I was gonna make the cut for the commercial. And people was like, "Man, didn't I see you in a car commercial?"
That was my client, Tops Unlimited. Yes, man, they've been my client for 30-some years. I go way back with them. Yep, you were. Look, you were gripped that day, but you also got a little starring role in the commercial.
I appreciate you for the opportunity, man. And as we talk about the opportunity, the Jaguar football show, Todd, you have been putting this thing on. How many years has this been? Because we're talking about all the way back to the Pete Richardson days, correct?
25 years, Perry White. 25 years of doing the Jaguar football show, and it's been a wild and woolly ride. I've seen the best of Coach Pete. I saw them unsummarily let Coach Pete go when they should have let him have his last year. I saw Stump Mitchell come in, and he was a great guy. I really liked Stump. I think he just had some bad luck with Southern University. There was about 5 or 6 games that Stump should have won, but discipline amongst players cost him, and cost him his opportunity to coach at Southern. But then I had a nice 10-year run with Coach Dawson Odom. He won him a SWAC championship. He competed for 3 or 4 others, and we couldn't get that second ring. But Dawson was a class act, and really enjoyed my time with him. And I enjoyed my time with my frat brother, Jason Rollins. He only got 1 year shot at it. I thought he deserved better, but, politics and athletics come into play. And then, of course, Eric Dooley, who had been with Coach Pete, coached alongside Coach Graves, came in the Dooley era. And unfortunately, the Dooley era didn't take off like we thought it was. And here we are today with Coach Terrence Graves, a 30-year assistant who got a shot, and he's making the most of it. The man went to the SWAC championship game and was the runner-up last year. And my hope for him and the team and the athletic department is that he kicks in the door this year and brings some rings home to Southern. He is a unique individual in that I find him to be one of the best player coaches I've ever been around. The players love him. He's a real guy. I think he's a real straight-up person. I know he really, really has respect and love for his former coach at Winston-Salem State, Coach Pete Richardson, and he respects him and gives him his due. So I love guys who respect where they come from and respect their elders, and that's Terrence Graves. And so I think he's put together a good team in this wild and woolly transfer portal NIL era, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens Saturday evening, for this 0-week kickoff game in the SWAC MEAC Challenge. My hope is that we come out of there with a W, and the players come out of there with some confidence. What do you think is going to happen Saturday, Perry?
Listen, I'm not sure right now. I mean, I just had Trey Oliver here on the show, and we had an opportunity to talk to him. I'm at this point where, we can watch, we can see, but it's until somebody who don't like you smash in your mouth, well, then you got to make those adjustments and then figure out where do we go from here. And I think it's going to be interesting because with your show, you watch Coach Eric Dooley and the Dooley era unfold with how fans were reacting to after games, what he would say to the media, You watch it unfold as you kind of saw the Jaguar Nation love go down. And for you, with the evolution of the Jaguar football show, what does that evolution look like for you, coach in and coach out, as you continue for 20 plus years with that show?
You know, I think I have a unique position, Perry, in that my relationship is with the coaches, and I've always treated everyone with the utmost respect. I still communicate with them when I see them, or if I need something to reach out. Recently, I had a chance to reach out to Coach Stump Mitchell. I don't know if you watch Harlem, Perry, or if you watch Snowfall, but Coach Mitchell's daughter is Gail Bean, beautiful actress on the rise, beautiful smile, and I kept seeing her big up the Stump Mitchell podcast. And I kept saying, well, wonder how Coach got a relationship with Gail Bean, you know? And so one day, man, I just shouted. I saw her shout him out, and so he put something out there about his podcast, and I shouted him out. I said, Coach, what's up with how you know Gail Bean? I said, man, I'm a big fan of her acting work and some of the projects she's been on. And he sends me a graphic, actress is the daughter of football legend. And I was like, wow, so it's a really small world. But back to what I was talking about, all those guys were really good to me, from Coach Richardson giving me the opportunity, and of course, this idea, was Howard White's idea. So he's been with me along this ride. But Coach Rich, Coach Mitchell, Coach Dooley, Coach Odom, Coach Rollins, and now Coach Graves. I just always shoot them straight, man. I'm not trying to be in their entourage pair. People be trying to hang on to coaches and kind of get in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I realize, they got a lot of important things to do on a day in, day out basis, at looking after 100 kids, and what, 15 coaches and football program workers. And so, my relationship is as friendly as they want it to be, and always as professional as it's gonna be. So I think I have nothing but love for all the coaches I've worked with, and I hope they have a little love for Todd Sterling.
Let's talk about the show itself. You're back in the swing of things after this game today against North Carolina Central. You're going to have an opportunity to talk to Coach Graves and have that one-on-one for everybody to watch. Let's talk about your show, which is going to be airing next week. What day will it be airing? Where at will fans be able to come and be a part of it, interact? Give us all the information and what times and channels this show is going to be broadcast on.
I appreciate that, Perry. I appreciate you giving me a chance to plug the show. The Jaguar Football Show with Coach Terrence Graves is going to be shot at Monte Cristo Cigar Bar and Bistro. We shoot it on the restaurant side, so if anybody wants to come out for lunch on Mondays at noon, they can come out and see the show shot, get a chance to say hello to Coach, have a bite to eat. And, again, we're going to shoot it live every Monday at noon. The show is going to air on Pelican Sports, which is Cox 20 and high definition 1020 on Mondays at 9, Tuesdays at 8 and 9, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. It's going to air on Fox 44 Tuesdays at 10 p.m. So you can skip the news on Tuesday night and catch the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Terrence Graves. But then they're also going to give us a repeat on Saturday mornings at 6:30 a.m. on their I think it's Z21 TV station. So literally, you can catch the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Terrence Graves 5-6 times a week on the air, but you can always catch it at your convenience on YouTube, or the link that we put on the Jaguar Football Show
Facebook page. And so one of the things I want to ask your audience, Perry, is please go and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, but also subscribe and like us on YouTube. You know, that's one thing that I have not been as astute as I should be in regards to building an audience on the digital platforms, but I want to change that this year and get some of the people that love and follow you to also love and follow us. So go and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and you can catch the show anywhere you are, anytime you want at your convenience. So that's it, Pete. You know, we're going to be on a couple of times a week. You know, it's always football all the time. Like I tell people, we're not curing cancer and we ain't saving babies. It's football. You know, we're talking about the first half, the second half. We'll have some players of the week, and we're going to have some interviews. Joe Dupree will interview some players, and then, of course, we'll be talking about our next week's opponent. So Monday night, tune in, and you'll see exactly what happened in the game tonight against North Carolina Central. You'll see all the big highlights, all the big hits, all the great touchdowns and runs, and you'll see, who we choose to interview, which is usually the impact players from the game. And then we'll look forward to our next game against Valley the next week. So check us out. You know, we love what we do, and we appreciate people who tap in and check us out and ask us questions as we move around town and move around the Gulf South, and people recognize us and see us and talk to us and, you know, get a little bit of Southern University football inside knowledge.
For everybody out there, that is the voice of my man, Todd L. Sterling. He is the host, the producer, the director, and everything else of the Jaguar Football Show. You guys be sure to go follow them across YouTube and across all social media, as he said, as well as just like how we here on radio on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area. You can go watch him on Pelican Television right here across the South. Todd, thank you for coming on this morning, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having us, Perry. And we're going to hang out a little bit in Atlanta, and we're going to get this W, and we're going to say, go Jags.
Go Jags. All right, everybody. Let's get ready to take a break. We come back on this side. We'll continue to talk about today's big matchup between Southern University and North Carolina Central. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown.
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man Chris Davis for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, here we are. We are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Everybody listening to us around the Baton Rouge capital city area on Talk 107.3 FM. Good morning to you. Turn up your radios. And everybody that's watching us on our YouTube and Facebook Live currently, good morning to you. Turn the volume up. It don't matter if you're watching on your phone, on your big TV in your house, on your laptop, on your iPad. I don't care what you're watching it on. Turn it up. It is game day. It is Southern versus North Carolina Central. It is the SWAC Challenge. It is week 0. And, man, we're talking football today. And if you missed us in the first hour, had an opportunity to listen to North Carolina Central's head football coach himself, Coach Trey Oliver, giving us a breakdown offensively and defensively in terms of the Eagles and what to expect for tonight's big ball game. But now, as we get the chance to talk about Southern University, nobody better to talk about it than my man from over at WAFB, my man Kevin Baptiste. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Perry. Thank you for the introduction. Nobody better. I like the sound of it. I always appreciate you, as always.
Well, I just watched your special, so nobody better.
Hey, look, we tried to do the damn thing when it comes to the WAFB Southern Special, and I hope that we do the damn thing for everybody in the Jaguar Nation when it comes to that preview.
We truly appreciate you because we know oftentimes here in Louisiana, particularly in Baton Rouge, it's easy to get overshadowed sometimes from that school on the south side of town. But you often got to remind people about the school on the north side of town, and which is why I like the special that you guys did, because you were able to break it down real quick for people out there. If they missed it, tell them about the special and where they can find it.
Yeah, so this year's title, it was called Finish the Job. It is on WAFB.com and the WAFB app and YouTube page. And it's basically, like you said, it starts off with a breakdown of the season through each side of the ball, position groups. We did a feature on the late, great Sean Wallace, a little whip around of the SWAC. You know, we don't just talk about Southern. We talk about what the other teams got going on. The ops, as people call them. Southern ops, Southern ops for this season. You know, the main ones. You know what I'm talking about. And we also, being the fact that this is the MEAC SWAC Challenge, Southern's 4th time playing in the ball game. We took a look back at their last 3 games and how those games transpired. Just a little history lesson, just to give a little respect to the people who have led Southern to the 3-0 record in this MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Trying to make it 4-0 tonight. And Kevin, I want to talk to you because since you did this this show on Southern to break it down, first I want to start on the offensive side of the ball and what you have seen with Southern. And let's start in the trenches, because that's what I think tonight's game, and even with talking with Trey Oliver in the first hour, he said that's where this game is going to really be determined at. And for you, watching Southern in the trenches offensively for the offensive line, we look back into this game, into this team last year. The offensive line, you and I talked about it the first couple games of the season. The chemistry wasn't there. They were not gelling, and Southern had a hard time running the ball, could not get over 100 yards rushing starting off the season. But somewhere down the line, they started to tweak with the roster, and it started to form and gel a little bit more as the season went on. What do you see this year in Southern's O-line coming into tonight's ball game?
Well, I'll tell you this. They're in a lot better position this time as last year when they were heading to the season. As you mentioned, there was so much question marks, like who's going to start where. They lost so many pieces, and it was really that Prairie View game where they made those adjustments, and they took out, I think it was like 3 new people on the offensive line, and they actually did improve. They actually did look more like a jailed unit. So going into this season, they returned 4 or 5 starters on the offensive line. The only guy they lost is Cam Foster. He's left tackle, but they still have Juan Gonzalez at center. They got Chris Garcia at left guard, and they got Brian Wallace and Jerron Lewis. Now the key is, I said, the left tackle. That's the most important position because that's the blind side. So far in camp, they have been working Jerron Lewis, who played right guard last year. They've been working him in at left tackle, and this is per offensive line coach Damon Nivens. But after we talked to Terrence Graves at this week's press luncheon, he said, well, Lewis has also been working at right tackle. So I guess they're still trying to tinker with lineup, seeing which one is the best bet going into this game. But I can say right now that going into this season, the offensive line is in a much better position than they were this time last year.
Let's go to the quarterback position because that was a musical chair position last year between Noah Biden, Xavier Tissett, and then the guy nobody saw coming, Jalen Woods. And for me, once Jalen Woods got in the game because of his pocket presence, you look at Noah Biden, who, it just never wanted to let the ball go. And then when you look at Tissett, he kind of got a little antsy. He wanted to scramble out. But Jalen Woods, to me, gave Southern the best opportunity for the explosive plays down the field. Looking at this quarterback room, you got Cameron McCoy, who transferred in from Jackson State. I mean, with the experience, you got to look at it's going to possibly be one of these 2 guys going to be the starter for tonight's ball game. What do you think about that quarterback room, as well as Southern adding a 4th quarterback the week of the first game?
Well, Perry, I would love to go into a season where Southern already knows who their starting quarterback is, and they can just tell the public. I mean, everything don't have to be G14 classified, but that's just the way things operate in the SWAC. I mean, hey, look, I guess we got to deal with it. No, but look, this is a 2-man race. I mean, it always has been. I mean, even in the spring when they had Jalen Woods and Jamari Jones, and Jones, he left the team due to personal reasons, and then they brought in Cameron McCoy from Jackson State. They always want to you always want to play guys with SWAC experience, and then you want to play guys who have team experience. And I'll be shocked if Jalen Woods is not the starting quarterback tonight. Now, I mean, T. Graves and Frederick, they might throw a little curveball. They might run McCoy out there for a more run-heavy type package. But I am just about sure that it's Jalen Woods. I mean, going off history. I mean, last year, they did this whole thing with Bowden and Tissett and Woods, and they ended up starting Bowden because he actually did play in the previous year, but they did play Tissett in their first game. And I wouldn't be opposed that even if and when they start Woods in this game tonight, if he's not getting the job done, they could go to McCoy. And that's one thing, Graves is not shy to do. He'll pull a quarterback. He always says he will do whatever it takes to win the game. And he also mentioned that he expects to play both Woods and McCoy this year because even though Woods is, like you said, more of that pocket passer, McCoy is a hell of an athlete. And when you have, guys like that on your team that can make things happen and get out in space, you have to give them playing time. So, I wouldn't be shocked if both of them see the field in some capacity tonight.
Let's look at that running back room. Of course, Trey Holly is the guy to circle, but that running back room is deep as ever. And you look at the talent in that room, along with the guys returning from last year, Barry Remo. You look at Jason Gabriel. Then you bring in the spring a young guy coming from Southern Lab and Ashbury. But then you factor in all the transfers that's in. Your thoughts on that running back room?
And this is the position that is catching my attention the most. Everybody's going to talk about the quarterbacks because it's the most important position on the field. But it's these running backs. And, with the way that Southern likes to run the ball and the fact that they lost their top 3 rushers last year and all that production, I mean, they're taking a hit. I mean, losing your top 3 running backs in the season, that just don't happen much. So they brought in the transfers. Obviously, Trey Holly is the biggest name, former 5-star prospect, LSU guy. So far from what we've seen in practice, he is as advertised. I mean, once he get out in the open space, it is over. There was one scrimmage where, he really showed his agility. I mean, really made a nice little jump, cut, stutter step, and then broke the hole for a nice little 40-yard run. So Graves says that it's going to be running back by committee, but if we get to a point down the season where Holly is taking a bulk of the snaps, don't be shocked. Another transfer running back, Mike Franklin, guy from Jacksonville State.
Big guy.
Big guy. He looks the part of a bruiser. I mean, they were just talking about, this boom and zoom combo, I guess, with Mike and Trey or whoever else. I mean, 6'2", 225, he looks the part, but his thing is, I mean, when I tried to find, I guess, highlights of him, he didn't have many. I mean, and he didn't. I'm just being honest. I mean, I couldn't find much on him. Southern, this is his fourth stop. I mean, before Jacksonville State, he was at UTSA, and then he was at a community college. So, I mean, maybe Southern, the SWAC, this might do it for him. But if he can bring that, that boom part, and Trey Holly is as advertised, then the running game gonna be all right. And same thing with these other transfers. Princeton Cahee from Louisiana Tech. I mean, another. He comes from a G5 school, but haven't seen much from him. And if Asbury or Barry Remo, Jason Gabriel, whoever, one of those underclassmen can step up too, running back room will be all right.
Yeah, Jason Gabriel is to me, when you look at him, he's just a pure athlete. You can line him up in the slot. You can put him back as return man. You can put him in the backfield. He's that type of athlete where you can put him in multiple places and find ways to use him.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really want to see from Mark Frederick. I mean, just because a player's position is running back, don't mean they strictly have to be in the backfield. I mean, get him out in the slot, get him in motion, just do something, man. It's like there's too much talent and speed on this team to just run, the basic stuff, inside zone, screen passes, taking shots down. Look, I'm just saying, man. And that's my thing. That's my thing with McCoy. I mean, you can put him in the slot. I mean, put him, in motion or something. Just this little eye candy, something to throw the defense off. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's get ready to take a break. Can you hold on with me through a break?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get ready to take a break. For everybody out there, stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well. Over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks First down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the first down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across mid.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Got my man Kevin Baptiste here joining us on the show. Good morning. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Man, glad
ready for the game?
Huh?
You ready for the game?
Woo! Don't get me turned up. I'm feeling it, baby. I'm trying to get everybody to realize it's week 0. All the lights are going to be bright because it's going to be on ABC for the entire nation to watch tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. And listen, as we talk about it, we wrap up the offensive talk. You talked about Mark Frederick. Before we move over to the defense, let's look at that wide receiver room. I think they have already circled who there's going to be WR1, and that's going to be Darren Morris. What does it look like after we get past Darren Morris from that wide receiver perspective, as well as we know Dupree Fuller for the tight end position? He looks the part.
He does. He does. Dupree is easily, Southern's second best pass catcher. I mean, last year he had the second most receptions on the team. He really showed his stuff, especially in the Alabama A&M game last year with that one-handed catch. And Terrence Graves, when I asked him at the beginning of fall camp, I said, one player who you've really been challenging, trying to get more out of. He said Dupree Fuller. He said, he showed flashes last year, but his size and even his speed as a tight end, that he can do a lot more in this offense. As far as the rest of the receivers, I don't want to just. I could just throw out names. Kobe Brown, Cam Jefferson, Jordan Dupree, all these guys. But
nobody's proven themselves.
Exactly. At the end of the day, they're just names. You got to show me a little bit more to get some status. So as of right now, it's Darren Morris, and hell, even though Dupree Fuller is a tight end, he's their second best receiver right now. So, maybe throughout the season, we'll see one of these receivers, emerge.
I think all eyes are going to be on Mark Fredericks tonight in terms of his play call. And for every show that I have done, that has literally been the question mark everybody has circled. Nobody is doubting Southern's defense. It has been Southern's offense that everybody has seemed to want to question. And I think his play calling tonight will be with the spotlight on it. Everybody's going to try to see what Southern's offense is going to be with the weapons that they supposedly have, and what is it going to look like in year 2 under Coach Mark Fredericks. All right, let's move on the other side to under Coach Henry Miller, where they have been right there in the thick of things in the top of the conference as one of the top defenses. Now let's talk about trench play, starting in the trenches, defensive line, having to go up against this North Carolina Central MEAG line. What do you see from the D-line, from the interior with the D tackles to the edge rushers for Southern University?
And I'll tell you one thing. It's one thing to get a good test early. It's another thing whenever your opponent returns their entire offensive line from last year. Yeah, this is going to be a good litmus test for this Southern defensive line. It begins with the man himself, Kelby Givens, the reigning SWAC co-defensive player of the year, the preseason favorite once again. All eyes are going to be on him, and I'm pretty sure Trey Oliver and that staff, they have their eyes on Kelby Givens as well. I wouldn't be shocked if they throw a lot of double teams at Kelby Givens tonight, as to say, okay, we're going to take out your best player, somebody else show me something. Zach Yassin is the other veteran on this defensive line, senior defensive tackle. The rest of these guys, they still got to prove themselves. Southern's defensive line, especially in the interior, it took a hit. Losing Jelani Davis, losing Davin Cotton, losing Big Willie Miles. Talking to Henry Miller, he made sure to give Willie Miles his shout out. He didn't put much on the stat sheet, but he took up a lot of space in those A gaps, and that led to guys like Vince Page and Derek Williams to roam. So I think, everything else in this defense, it might be, A-okay, but defensive line in that interior, that's going to be the one thing to look at.
Looking at that linebacker position, Vincent Page Jr., who's now Vincent Sullivan, he is a guy, he really was eye-popping in the Bayou Classic last year.
He was, man. He was. He's just a hell of an athlete. He can really go sideline to sideline. 84 tackles last year, their leading tackler. Not really much of a real big rah-rah guy, but he's just straight to business, and that's what you want in your linebacker. I asked Graves earlier in the week, who's going to step next to Vincent in that linebacker spot now that Derek is gone. It seems like it's going to be Mike Jones Jr.
Who?
281-330-8004. Hey, don't bring me back now. Don't bring me don't bring me back. Well, anyway, yeah. It seems like Mike Jones Jr. is going to step in next to Vince. And the thing about that is those two already have a real good connection because they were teammates at Kilgore Community College, and they're real good friends off the field. So you got Mike, and if it's not him, you got Jamarlo Campbell on the other side.
Now, we look at that defensive backfield in terms of the DBs. Look, Southern University ranked first in the conference in pass defense. They were fifth overall in the entire FCS in terms of pass defense. You look at Horatio Johnson. You look at a guy like Herman Brister III. You factor in Elijah West, who had 10 pass breakups. But one would argue that maybe they were able to get these stats because quarterback play was not that good around the SWAC last year. So can they get challenged by Walker Harris, the quarterback of North Carolina Central today, to really put them to the test? When you look at this defensive backfield for Southern University, have they been challenged, and do you believe that those stats of being first in the SWAC and pass defense and fifth overall in FCS, is that just a bunch of fluff, or is that as advertised?
Oof. Trying to throw me in the fire right here.
Good
but
question,
you know what?
wasn't it? I like hey.
You try to throw me in the fire right here, but you know what? I kind of tend to agree that it's somewhat fluff because, as we all know, quarterback play in the SWAC last year was not a premium. It just wasn't good all the way around. I mean, I'm pretty sure the most consistent quarterback play was maybe FAMU. Maybe that's about it. But at the same time, they do have some guys back there, and they all have experience, a veteran presence. They all have a good bind. You mentioned Horatio and Herman Brister, who it seemed like if Southern got an interception, Herman Brister was right there for the taking. And another thing, Henry Miller, he pointed to Elijah West as a guy who is due for a big step this year. He said one thing with Elijah is he always liked to get a lot of PBUs, but Miller has been telling him, hey man, when that ball's up in the air, man, we got to bring it down. We got to bring it down. So I think safety is might be the best position group on this Southern defense. But like you said, man, look, if quarterback play in the SWAC is better, we're gonna see how this secondary really gets tested. And getting to play North Carolina Central, that's gonna be a good test for them starting out.
The big question mark for me that mostly gets overlooked is going to be special teams. Starting game one last year, and I talked about this earlier in the show, Southern versus McNeese. Southern goes in that game, struggles offensively. Defense did what they had to do to keep the star quarterback at McNeese under center and pretty much keep him back out of the end zone. We get late into that ball game. It seems like if Southern just holds on, they can find a way to sneak out of there and get their first win ever against McNeese. What happens? Special teams falls apart. The craziest, wackiest kick I've ever seen on a field goal goes off the back of the snapper and just hightails it the opposite way. I don't even know where that ball got that much energy from. It just goes the opposite way, and it sets McNeese up for short field position. On a punt, goes over the snap. The snap goes over the punter's head, sets McNeese up for another score. Ultimately, special teams imploded, fell apart, gave McNeese that game. Short field position, McNeese won that game. Special teams coming into this ball game for you.
Yeah, that was some extraterrestrial stuff from that. One of the many extraterrestrial stuff from Southern season last year. I mean, which is funny you bring that up because I was shooting that field goal. I was like in the back of the end zone. I thought it got blocked, and then I seen the replay. I was like, wait, it just hit the center's back and rolled like 50 yards. Like what the? That was some crazy stuff. But obviously, they lost their kicker, Josh Griffin. They still have their punter, Kenny Pham. I think last year was big learning experience from Kenny. I mean, he had to, replace, Robins Beauplan, who was, a real weapon for Southern, especially when their offense struggled. Kenny really didn't have the hang time of Robins, but, maybe, he got that first year under his belt. Maybe, he's been working on some things. I know Kenny took some licks last year. It seemed like every other game he would always get a 15-yard roughing the punter. But, hey, he's a trooper. Replacing Joshua Griffin at kicker is a local product, Nathan Zimmer from Central, or should I say the reigning state champion at Central High School. I've only seen Nathan kick once, and that was at the open scrimmage they had 2 weeks ago. And, he showed me some good stuff. I mean, he had a kickoff go out the back of the end zone. So, I mean, if you get a touchback, he'll come through for you. And he hit a field goal from, I think it was about 45 yards. And I talked to Coach Graves after that. He says he feels his range. I mean, he can go 50. So, I mean, when you have a weapon like that, it can certainly help in these SWAC games that we know can come down to the wire.
Let's do this, Kevin. I'm going to take one more break, and we come back on this side. We're going to look at tonight's matchup, and we're going to break down and have some predictions. You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We'll be back. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket, and his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's a free play.
Oh,
and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. Third down. 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle, and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet, and Lewis is.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Glad to have you guys with us as we rock and roll. And good morning to everybody listening in on our Talk 107.3 FM airwaves across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching and listening on our YouTube and Facebook channel. Glad to have you guys with us. My man Kevin Batiste is joining me this morning. And, man, Kevin, we are rocking and rolling. It is game day. It is week 0. All eyes are going to be on the Southern Jaguars and the North Carolina Central Eagles tonight in the matchup of two teams respectfully finished runner-up in their conferences, the SWAC and the MEAC. Both these teams had an opportunity to play potentially for a national championship in the Celebration Bowl last year.
Yeah. And they both get to start the season early. Really, I guess start their road to redemption tours or unfinished business, whatever they want to call it. Yeah, man, I just really looking forward to this game tonight. I mean, you get two HBCUs like that on prime time right there in the Black Mecca, as I call it. The A-Town. I mean, I know the Jaguar Nation gonna travel deep. North Carolina Central gonna bring a crowd. And this is something I've been looking forward to for a long time, ever since I seen that this game was set on the schedule. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight at Center Park Stadium.
Let's look at this. Keys to tonight's game, and let's start for North Carolina Central. Keys to the game tonight.
Keys for North Carolina Central, I would say probably time possession, especially when you're a team returning 5 stars on the offensive line going against a team that's relatively new on the defensive line. You really want to control the line of scrimmage, control the tempo of the game, and that means grounding and pounding and really long sustaining drives. So I think it's going to be really time possession and really tiring out that Southern defense tonight in the game.
Let's look on the other side for Southern. Keys to the game for Southern University tonight.
That's easy. Start fast. That's something they did not do last season. The stat that always sticks out in my mind: they only scored 1 first quarter touchdown all of last season, and it came in the Bayou Classic, the second to last game of the season. They got to stop doing this. They have to, especially to their defense, who really doesn't keeps them in the game for a long time. You got to spot them. It ain't got to be 14 points, 10 points, something. They just can't keep playing from behind like this. So that's the main thing I'm looking forward to from Southern. Can they at least start fast and score 2 touchdowns or something in the first quarter?
Yeah, for me, Southern's defense keys to the game. For me, defensively for Southern, they're going to have to be able to get pressure through that offensive line, who you say is returning for North Carolina Central, and get Walker Harris to be uncomfortable in the backfield. And if this secondary is who we believe to say that they are, that was first in the SWAC last year, 5th overall in FCS, you force Walker Harris into some situations, releasing the ball to not be accurate to the receivers and forcing turnovers. If we can get apply pressure and force him to be uncomfortable in the backfield, I think that's what you want to live with the defense. Offensively, you're not asking for too much for your quarterbacks because you want to rely on that running back room. But I think all eyes, you got to circle that whole offensive line. Can they gel together to be able to protect the quarterback? Because it don't matter if the quarterback can run or if it's a pocket passer. If the pressure is coming up around, what can you do? What can that quarterback do? And then for the running backs, what can they do to protect, to open up those holes to get the running backs through? To me, keep it simple for your quarterbacks. Don't ask for too much. But make the plays when the plays have to be made. If that receiver is open down the field, damn it, let the ball go to that receiver. You got to trust your receivers. That's what we didn't see out of Noah Biden last year. He did not trust his receivers. And at the same time, this running back by committee, as you said, aside from Trey Holly, these transfers are going to have to prove themselves. Clearly, you're transferring for a reason. As you said, there's not much film. You're going to have to prove yourselves. And from the wide receiver core, if the quarterback is to let the ball go, you're going to have to go out there and prove it and say, I can go get it no matter what. You're going to have to be that dog on offense. Special teams, something Southern has not had in a long time, a return guy in special teams. I'm eager to see, can we find that return guy in special teams? Because can that become a part of the game tonight to give Southern the edge if the offense, in fact, does not be able to get it going? And as we've seen before, if you're going to win a championship in this league, you got to play all 3 phases of this game. And if you're going to play against a team like North Carolina Central, you're going to have to do everything you can to win that game. And that's creating turnovers, getting points on special teams, and an offense that's being effective and not turning the ball over and controlling time of possession, which I think they can do if they can get the run game going. All right. Your prediction, looking at this game tonight, what do you think finally is? We are here in week 0, ABC, kickoff tonight, Center Park Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, experience matters, and I'm going to go with the team that has experience not just in their starters, but also in this setting. I mean, I think the bright lights and being on national TV, that believe it or not, that plays a factor in the situation because Southern has never played in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. North Carolina Central they have, and they've also played in the Celebration Bowl. And Trey Oliver knows how to get his team calm down and I guess just keep it even keel. And when you got a team that's, like I said, returning their offensive line and their quarterback and their running back. I mean, they know who they are. I mean, they know who they are. Southern, they know who's starting their quarterback, but still, I mean, we gotta see the momentum from that position. Running back, you're still trying to figure out. You want Trey Holly to be that guy, but you still have to see it. So I guess there's still that figuring out phase, and I'm going to roll with North Carolina Central in this matchup. Score probably, I'll say probably 27-17.
27-17. For me, the way I think this thing goes tonight, I think it's back and forward. I think Southern scores late because one thing is you said, what was the name of your special this year?
Finish the job.
Finish the job. Southern's going to have to finish the job. This is the game that you show you can finish the job and grow up as a team. Southern showed the resilience last year, being able to finish games late, no matter who the opponent was. They were able to find ways to crawl and claw out of those games. For me, I think Southern late in this ball game gets a touchdown and puts it away. I'm going 21-17. I think it's 17-14 North Carolina Central up somewhere mid-fourth quarter. Southern finds a way to make a big play, get down the field, and score late. Southern's defense then steps up because Walker Harris is then going to be forced to have to throw the ball down the field, which then what is going to put the spotlight on Southern's secondary. And I'm going to go 21-17. Southern scores late in the fourth quarter and finds a way to seal the deal and get their first big win in a long time on national television and continue the streak and go 4-0 in the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Yeah, and not just would that improve their streak, that would also improve the SWAC streak because last three winners are Alabama State, Jackson State, and FAMU. So I mean, everybody want to rep for their conference. So a win for Southern, it would definitely do that for the SWAC.
Kevin, man, I appreciate you for today, man, and coming on. It is game day. It is the big day for Southern North Carolina Central, man. Appreciate you this morning, man, for being able to go through this with me, man. And then once again, tell the people if they want to watch the special, finish the job, where can they find it and be able to keep up with you, man?
Finish the job is posted on WAFB.com, WAFB Plus, and the WAFB YouTube page. And you can follow me on Twitter/X at KBetsy Jr. for all your Southern content. And also we will have post-game, well, we'll try to have post-game reaction for the game tonight, barring any unforeseen circumstances, because we know Southern has a knack for dramatics and overtime. So just throwing it out there.
Well, Kevin, man, appreciate you, and thank you as always, man.
Yes, sir, man. Take it easy.
All right, everybody. That's the voice of Kevin Baptiste. He is, man, phenomenal when it comes to this, and be sure to check out that special Finish the Job that he produced and got going over at WAFB. Ladies and gentlemen, what more do you want from me? I hope you have enjoyed today's show. I want to thank my man Joshua Sims Sr. for coming on, talking to us about the Eagles from the fan perspective and the coverage perspective. Want to thank my man, head coach of North Carolina Central, Trey Oliver, who came on the first hour to talk about the team. Want to thank my man Todd Sterling, talking to you about the Jaguar football show, because he's going to be talking to Coach Terrence Graves on Monday if you want to watch that and be able to hear the reaction after tonight's ball game. And, of course, my man Kevin Baptiste for being able to talk about this entire Southern University team from start to finish, offense, defense, and special teams. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend. Tune in tonight, ABC Week 0. It is the game of the day. Southern University versus North Carolina Central, the MEAC and the SWAC. Start in the A and end in the A. And, man, I am Perry White from me, my man Mike. And shout out to Southern University. I had a great time at the gala last week. Shout out to Miss Tracy Woods. Thank you for everything that you did for us, Miss Tracy Woods. I wanted to publicly say that. And for everybody out there, I hope you have a great day. We'll be back next week at the same time in the same place, because always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Go Jags. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.